diversity is celebrated, empathy is nurtured, and every student is given the opportunity to thrive. I invite all participants to actively engage in today's session, listen, reflect, and share your thoughts. Together, let us take a step forward in building schools and societies where no child is left behind. United Schools Organization of India is a registered society established in 1951. It is our mandate to advance the social, cultural, and moral standards of schools in India to global levels by providing schools access to extracurricular tests, seminars, conferences, competitions, campaigns, and programs on a national platform. We aim to create global citizens by providing students and teachers alike avenues to explore their potential beyond academies. Let's take a moment to reflect on the legacy of USO. We take immense pride in our rich legacy and the meaningful impact we have created over the past 75 years, empowering generations of students and educators, fostering inclusive education, and championing holistic development across the nation. Since 1951, the United Schools Organization of India has been shaping education beyond textbooks. Over the past 75 years, we have made a nationwide impact, reaching 31 states, partnering with 16,000 plus schools, and engaging more than 5.1 million students and 22,000 teachers. We have been conducting activities for special schools nationally since 2019. We routinely partner with UN agencies and various government bodies for our activities, all of which are on a national level. The first national science painting competition for specially able children was organized in partnership with NISCARE and UNESCO in association with the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, Divyanjan, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. Continuing the initiative in 2020, USO conducted a national science poster making competition for specially able children in collaboration with NISCARE. The painting competition was revived in 2021 in partnership with CSIR, NISPER and UNESCO. In 2022, in a creative shift, USO introduced ABC to Anybody Can Cartoon, a national cartooning competition designed specially for specially able children. This innovative program was conducted in collaboration with Junior Diamond, offering participants a chance to explore humor and storytelling through cartoon art. Again in 2023, USO also conducted a national drawing competition. This special edition of the painting competition titled Art for Change Painting Out Plastics focused on the pressing issue of plastic pollution. Later the same year, USO introduced Beyond Boundaries, a dance e-festival for specially able children, celebrating the power of movement, rhythm, and expression across physical and geographical limitations. Building on the success of the Dance E-Festival, USO launched the Beyond Boundaries E-Mime competition in 2025. Starting in 2021, USO began hosting an annual Diwali Mela at the USO House, featuring specially able children and their handmade products. This festive platform promotes skill development, entrepreneurship, and community interaction by showcasing and supporting products created by students from special schools. We promote inclusivity not just as a theme, but as a continuous commitment. Over the years, we have worked to ensure that every student, regardless of ability, feels seen, heard, and empowered. Over the years, we have worked to ensure that every student, regardless of ability, feels seen, heard, and empowered. As part of this mission, we have organized several engaging and inclusive competitions for both special schools and regular schools alike. These include ABC2, Anybody Can Cartoon, competition and My Immunobooster recipe competition, H2O waterways program for children. From April 2025 to March 2026, USO will host 12 insightful webinars, each focusing on a different topic related to understanding and supporting children with special needs. Covering a wide range of subjects, the series will explore innovating teachers, strategies, inclusive learning environments, assistive technologies, behavioral support, and more. Today's topic is the power of inclusive education benefits for all. We are truly honored to have with us our distinguished speaker, Dr. Renu Malviya, who has extensive experience in field of inclusive education and has been strong advocate for equal learning opportunities. She is right now a professor and dean faculty of behavioral sciences, SGT University in Gurugram. She is an effective executive member, All India Women's Education Fund Association, and also the patron of Parikarma, India, as well as academic director, Voiceability. She has over 35 years of experience in teaching, in service training, research, and extension. She has been associated with various international and national level projects. Besides 25 books for academics, she has published books on bibliography and modules. She has contributed chapters to 25 books. An RCS certified special educator, a mental health professional, CBSE certified master trainer. She was advisor to the Commissioner of Disability, member Mental Health Counseling Team, University of Delhi, member Equal Opportunity Cell, Delhi University. She is on the experts and advisory committee of different universities, schools, and other institutions. Dear ma'am, Dr. Renu.
A very good afternoon, good morning to everyone. I am so appreciative of this wonderful platform where I have been asked to talk about the inclusive education and its benefit. May I take this opportunity to, first of all, thank USO, Mrs. Jolly, Nina ma'am, and everyone else for giving me this platform. May I first share my slide? While the slide is being shared, what happens in a classroom is often we feel the regular students that we have, we are not able to handle them because Indian classrooms have such large numbers, but the Indian teachers are the best across globally. So we often feel that will we be able to manage children with slight differences? But as we go along and as we see what UGC says, what CBSE says, what NEP 2020 says, that all children have a right to be in our classrooms. And we also have mandates that we cannot say no to them. And why should we say no to them when we have the capability? Each and every teacher of India has the potential and the capability, whether it's a general teacher or it's a special education teacher, to manage to elicit the best from each child. So let us see. So this is what we are going to do is all means all. Every child has a right to education. And when we talk about that, let us see what does inclusive education actually means. It means to ensure that all learners with or without disabilities, so-called special needs, or the marginalized group are in the mainstream school, and each of one of them gains. So the special educator or any expert is there to support us, the general teachers, to have to conduct classes most effectively, and the general teachers are there to support the special educator in getting the best from each and every child in the classroom. And that is what we will try to visit today. So the laws say that we have to reduce exclusion, increase participation, have a positive learning environment. The children should be running to school. Do I use a mix of Hindi and English, or do I speak only in English? May the coordinators please inform me. Jolly ma'am. Okay, till they
Yes,
join
ma'am.
in here.
Yes, ma'am.
Should I use a mix of Hindi and English, or only English?
You can mix it, ma'am. Hindi and English.
Okay, okay. Thank you for that. तो हमारी क्लास को इतना खुशी वाला होना चाहिए स्कूल हमारा ना, पर उसके लिए टीचर्स के ऊपर तो लोड ज्यादा पड़ेगा ही। अगर हम सबको खुश रखेंगे, सबकी लर्निंग होगी, आज हम क्या नया सीखेंगे, तो ये सब करने के लिए वी नीड टू हैव एवरीवन एज अ लर्नर। हमारी इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन should be something like this. Everyone on a wheelchair, a child who's blind, a child who has dyslexia or autism are all studying. हमारी classes कैसे होती हैं? सीधी सीधी, pin drop silence. The focus is on discipline. The focus is not on management of learning. एक फर्क है। अगर बच्चे engaged होंगे learning में, तो उनका डिसिप्लिन ऑटोमेटिकली बेटर होगा। तो वो कैसे भी बैठे होंगे, राउंड सर्कल में बैठे होंगे, ऐसे बैठे होंगे, इस तरीके से बैठे होंगे, तब भी वो engaged होंगे। And this is what we have to try and do. I understand this is very difficult and very taxing and challenging for us, the teachers. But UNESCO says that we have to do that. The policies of India say that we have to do that. And then every child has learning. So when we talk about inclusive education, we are going with the belief, and that is what UN says, that is what UNESCO says, that basic right to education is a basic human right. And it is the foundation of a just society. And in inclusive education, we are concerned with all the learners, चाहे उनके स्पेशल नीड्स हो, चाहे उनकी लिंग्विस्टिक माइनॉरिटी है। मैं हिंदी बोल रही हूँ, हिंदी के डायलेक्ट्स कितने सारे हैं। तो आई कांट से कि मेरी क्लास में एक बच्चा है, उसका डायलेक्ट जो वो हरियाणवी है, दूसरे का क्या कहते बिहार का है, तो मैं नहीं पढ़ाऊंगी उनको, मैं नहीं समझ पाती उनको। उनको समझना पड़ेगा मुझे, हम समझते भी हैं, करते भी तो हैं ये काम, है नहीं? So this is what inclusive education is about. These are the historical purview. We really did not focus too much on education of children with disabilities before 1980s. Then came the national policy on education, which focused that children with disability should be allowed to study at the ordinary schools, also the जिनको हम mainstream schools कहते हैं. Then, but special schools will continue. Special schools अभी भी continue हो रहे हैं और होते रहेंगे. Then 1995 में आया था Act of Persons with Disability, and which said full participation, equal opportunities to everyone. 2005 में we had the action plan for inclusive education of children and youth with disabilities. So what did it say? That school to provide equal opportunities to all in the same classroom. not segregated. So education is not about separate classes. मुझे ही करना पड़ेगा क्लास में, हम कर भी रहे हैं, हमेशा से करते आए हैं, आप हमेशा से करते आए हैं, पर अब उसको थोड़ा सा हम ज्यादा स्ट्रक्चर कर सकते हैं. तो 2009 में हमारा राइट टू एजुकेशन एक्ट आया, that I have a right. And 2016 में the Persons with Disability Act RPWD 2016 वो further built upon the 1995 Act. Right? So from here, let's go forward. That was a little history about education, inclusive education in India. Now let's try and understand our classes. उसके लिए, I'm just going through this a little bit. Impairment is, there is a disability at the body level or at the cognitive level. It is a structural difference. But if I have a structural difference, it causes certain loss in function. So if I'm short, I will not be able to be good in something which is where you need to be have a good height. So often you see in the armed forces, there's a certain level of height that you need. So it is a loss of function. I'm not able to do certain things. But when society provides hindrances, it becomes a handicap. So if there are no, let me take the example that if there are no lifts, then it is very difficult for someone with a physical disability to climb nth number of staircase. But if there is a lift, that problem which was caused by society, na, उसमें building में problem थी ना, so that is going to be removed from there. So what we have to do in the classroom also, try and remove those situations. What did CBSE do? CBSE said, okay, those children who cannot write effectively, let's give them a scribe, a writer. Scribe is a writer. So you get a writer. So the problem is with either the ability to write with the hand or the ability to see in the case of visual impairment, or the cognitive difficulty in the case of a child with dyslexia or autism to be able to decipher the print effectively. Okay, so that situation of created by society was removed by CBSE. So in my classes also, I need to remove those situations. In my class, you see this orange part. This is the 68% that is average and comes to my class. And a child with slight variation from this is also in my class. Every child in my class is not a topper. Agreed? But there are children, you really have to work hard with them to get them to pass a particular class grade. But they're still in your class now. And all of us are very effective in managing to get them to learn and move to the next class. अगर हम यहाँ तक पहुंच पा रहे हैं, तो हम इन 2-3 बच्चों को और ले सकते हैं ना, with the support of the special education unit in our schools. Yes, we can do it. So the teachers who are special educators are left with more of the children who fall in the extreme, the pink ones here. And they can focus on developing their abilities better, that they also become contributing members of society tomorrow. So are we ready, teachers, principals, headmistresses, to take up a few children from here to this side with the support of special educators? तो जब बात होती है कि स्पेशल एजुकेटर करते क्या है, खाली 2-3 बच्चों के साथ बैठते हैं, दे विल बी प्रोवाइडिंग यू द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ दिस चाइल्ड। ये बच्चा ठीक से देख नहीं पाता, या ये बच्चा जो है इसकी जो आईसाइट है उसमें ऐसा है कि इसको डायगोनल दिखता है, और इस बच्चे को अगर ब्लैक बोर्ड पे इफ यू आर राइटिंग मेन चीजों को हाईलाइट इन कलर्ड चॉक, इसको डिसलेक्सिया है, ये पूरे सेंटेंसेस में कंफ्यूज हो जाता है, पर इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि उसका आईक्यू लो है। So this is how it is done. We already know that segregation, our constitution and the accent policies says no to segregation. Exclusion perfectly impossible. Every child has a right to come to the regular school, और उनको अलग से नहीं पढ़ाना है. On certain classes, perfect, but not throughout the day. So integration also means that they are in the same class, but the teachers are not able to give them the support because the teachers don't have the skill or the training for it. Although now the syllabus for teacher education, B.Ed, diplomas, etc. has been changed. So the new teachers who are coming out are learning how to have inclusive classrooms. And because of not being able to have a pedagogy of teaching where we are able to reach out to the methods that everyone learns. Do you notice here? I am online. I'm using voice modulation. I'm trying to have an eye contact with you. I'm also using my hands to explain more. Right. So 3 methods, even in an online one, the fourth is the PPT and the pictures here. So this is something that all of us do. We just need to do it a slightly more. Now, if we use different ways of teaching, then the number, only the people who, there, if there is not one teaching style, in one teaching style, that only those children who are aligned to my teaching style, their learning style is same to my teaching style, are able to learn. But if we have not only one teaching style, but a number of different ways of teaching in the classroom, then the rectangles and the squares and the whatever else will also be able to get through the examination system. Difficult for us. The first thing is the sitting arrangement in our classrooms. This is the first one, is not a sitting arrangement which facilitates inclusion. Here it is teacher centered. But see here, now if you can quickly count the number of desks in this. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25. Now count the number of desks and chairs in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If we have one more row placed in front, do you see? There are 26. In this, we have 25, and there is still space. The children can look at each other. The children can work in a team. It's difficult to work in a team. But what do I as a teacher? Because I don't have those skills. I will learn. I will improve myself. And many of you are already doing it. Is to see that here the children will talk more. Here nobody can talk. So what are we using here? Discipline. But here my lessons are going to be so effective that each child will be engaged together. And they will respond, they will answer. So they will be talking, only I will not be talking. It's difficult. But once you the engagement start becomes more. When the engagement becomes more, the children learn more, they do better. The same applies for many of these other way of classroom sitting arrangement. I would like you to respond. How many of you have arrangements which are different from this? While you're doing that, let's come to what is required to be effective teachers. Engaging the students so that children know what are we going to they need to be more motivated. What will I gain from this? It cannot be you're teaching 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 and the child may ask you and you tell the child, if you learn 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, you will become an astronaut tomorrow. This is very far-fetched. The child can see that. You have to give them a purpose which is right here. And the purpose is mostly, what do we say? You will top. You will get good marks. You will get a prize. Not good enough. Not good enough. If I am able to learn that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 or simple addition, you will do better in the game of Monopoly. तुम लोग घर में Monopoly खेलते हो? This is how you would need to link them, motivate them, give them purpose which is not very far away. When we are presenting information in the classroom, the presentation has to be so that it is understood by all the children and it is according to the way they like to learn. So you have a child in your classroom, we are already doing all this, aren't we? Is that we have a student who likes to talk a lot. So the knowledge is given to the child in such a way where whatever you are explaining in the class, you ask the child, okay, what did I say just now? Will you explain it again to the rest of the class? Now, so the talking need is done. There's another child who likes to draw. So you engage that child in drawing on the blackboard or whatever else. So the assignments that come out could also be different, as I will come to that. Action and expressions, the strategies, the goal, direction of the learners, different ways of how I teach in the classroom. So what I teach in the classroom and how I need to teach in the classroom has to be expanded if I have to reach out to each and every child. I will not go into details about this just now. We already know about multiple intelligence, how everyone learns differently. And so this is what can I use into my classroom? Can I have buddy system people in my classroom? Who will help me? Here's this child who is very active, body smart. So, if we are teaching about push and pull, this is the child we call in front. Okay, push the table, pull the table. The body smart child would love to do that. You've taught something in the classroom, and then you say, okay, isko music makeup. These are the 5 new terminologies you have learned here. Form a group. Try to make a rhythm out of it. Engage the music teacher in that. So this is how we go about doing it. So here we have a child with dyslexia who finds it different to learn in sequence, but that information, those 5 different words, have been put into a music form. Now the child remembers that better. So these are some ways in how multiple intelligence is used in the classroom also. So, different ways of engaging is by providing interactive games. So we have the spellograph, for example. So in your classroom, if you are teaching about certain spellings or rules of spelling, it should not only be that Q after Q comes U. This is one principle. This one particular rule that we are aware of can be also put it into a game form. We have Google, we have AI. Use it constructively, but remember, human intelligence is more important than the artificial intelligence. So do not make AI the master. Human intelligence, that is, you have to remain the master. So these are using music, using personal community work, using real life experiences. For example, I was teaching in my class about the stages of development. So this was is a master's class, MSc class, and but in spite of that, because most of us belong to nuclear families now more than to extended or joint families, so many children haven't seen a newborn. So the real life experience we did was we told them to go to a creche. We took them to a creche, and there they did all the practicals on the different types of reflex. How, when a newborn is born, they have the reflex of sucking. They have the reflex, if you touch them on your cheek, they will move their, their mouth towards the cheek that has been touched. They will try and catch things but the thumb and the finger will work differently. So this was real life experience. They made videos out of it and so on. Can we do the same for a practical on or for a topic on photosynthesis? Can we do the same for a topic on different type of levers? Can we do the same for multiplication? And now look at this particular picture here. Everyone is not at the same IQ level. Okay, one of them has thick specs, so visual impairment. This child is talkative but has dyslexia. Somebody else finds it difficult to sit in one place all the time. So the assignment given to them is different, but they are all learning about the world. You would say, but मैम यहाँ तो बहुत थोड़े बच्चे हैं, हमारी क्लास में तो 50 हैं. क्या मैं एक आपसे एक्सपेक्ट कर सकती हूँ कि पूरे साल में आप कम से कम 20 टॉपिक्स पढ़ाते होंगे? Take up any one topic or a part of that topic and put in that little extra effort in that. और उसको हम इस तरीके से बना सकते हैं. क्या हम उनको हॉल में ले जा सकते हैं अपने स्कूल के ऑडिटोरियम में? क्या हम उनको बाहर ओपन जगह पे ले जा सकते हैं? क्या हम स्टेज पे ले जा सकते हैं? क्या मैं अपनी स्पेशल एजुकेटर और 2-3 अदर टीचर्स को क्यों इंगेज कर सकती हूँ, उनको एक्साइटेड कर सकती हूँ कि वो मुझे इसमें हेल्प करें. और जब हम स्टेज के ऊपर जो कि खाली रहता है पूरे दिन पे, एक्सेप्ट जब सुबह शाम जब भी वहां पर कोई प्रोग्राम होता है, क्या ये जैसे यहाँ पर पूरा मैप बना है, इसके रेप्लिका ऑफ 6 मैं बना सकती हूँ. एंड आई हैव वॉलंटियर्स from the classroom. I have my special educator. I have some other friends of mine from any other subject whom I have been able to form a relationship with. So they help you and you will help them sometime else. I know you are exhausted by the end of the day. There's enough work, more than enough work. But if supposing you do this and you make a presentation tomorrow of how I conducted that classes. Can anyone here would tell us later on, would any one of you want to take up this challenge and attempt on any topic like this? It will involve a lot of energy, lot of forming communication with everyone, and I'm right there through USO to be a mentor for this. We can work online on this. Okay, so if anyone is interested in taking this forward from whichever part of the country you are, connect with USO. Different ways of representing it. वो हमने already बात की है. If I am teaching photosynthesis, तो writing, children form a e-group book. Then they podcast to their school community. Photosynthesis में ये होता है. Therefore, it is important that there should not be dust on the leaves. So in your home, if you want, you can wash the plants. Okay? Because so there could be a podcast on this. There could be not, you don't have to write everything. There's a child who doesn't want to write, so they can do a visual. Let me go further and show you a diagram that I have somewhere here, which shows, see how they have done it here, huh? Or it could be here. So they have made a teaching flashcard into tactile. So the child with dyslexia, the child with autism, the child who wants, just doesn't like sitting all the time, doesn't have ADHD, but finds it difficult to sit for a long time, they will all be happy to come over. Ma'am, मैं touch करूं? Ma'am, ये touch करूं? Now, it is your ability as a teacher to have the skills to see कितनी जल्दी वो आते हैं, साइलेंटली वापस जाते हैं. वो स्किल मेरे में नहीं है, इसलिए मैं ये अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर पा रही हूँ क्लास में. मैं घबरा रही हूँ, ये लोग शोर मचाएंगे तो प्रिंसिपल मैम मुझे या सर आके मुझे डांटेंगे. पर धीरे धीरे क्या मैं ये स्किल डेवलप कर सकती हूँ? आता है मुझे कैसे करना, पर मेहनत पड़ रही है उसमें करने के लिए. पर मेहनत करते करते तो आगे जाएगा. Your first chapatis were not well made. And for years, you could not make a beautiful, fluffy roti. But see, all women and men in this audit who are listening to me, majority of you can do a wonderful job. But it took you years to do it. Let's start from somewhere. So here comes in, we're talking about engagement, we're talking about representation. तो कौन सोच रहा है अपने सब्जेक्ट में से मैं स्टेज का यूटिलाइजेशन करूंगा और एक तो करूंगा, अगर ऐसा टॉपिक एक तो मैं क्लास ऐसी लूंगी या लूंगा. अगर मैं ऑलरेडी ले रहा हूं तो क्या मैं उसको प्लीज आप वीडियो रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हैं और यूएसओ के साथ हम शेयर कर सकते हैं, और वी वुड maybe want to have a competition for this. Give us our ideas. So USO can also do many new creative things. अब ये देखो, this is, do you look here? It is buddy system. They're learning themselves. It's peer tutoring. There is engagement. There is no noise. Here the teacher is doing something. The assistant teacher is actually sitting and working on an idea, and everyone is engaged. It will not come overnight. It will take years to do. So, when we are able to start thinking on this, children who have hearing impairment or visual impairment can be in the regular classroom, or the children with neurodevelopmental diversities, such as specific learning disability, which is dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyscalculia, graphia, and others, or children on the autism spectrum disorder. So when I'm teaching in the classroom, let's take this step by step. So the children who have or who are on the autism spectrum disorder or uh, ASD. Hmm? Now, what is the issue? Major fundamental issue. There are many other things, challenges for them and for the school system. But one is they like to work in a system. So today, if we have a timetable and tomorrow suddenly when the children come to school, we change the timetable. These children tend to find it very frustrating. Many of them would actually revolt against it. They may get hyperactive. They may throw a tantrum. Okay, so it is for them so difficult. So can my timetable be as possible fixed? But this requires, what is the thing? I can hear you people say timetable हमको दिया जाता है पर वो HOD change कर देते हैं, वो change कर देते हैं. So see, there is a flaw in our structure of the school system or the university system. So we can't keep saying that they are wrong, pointing fingers. How do we gradually bring about that change? Many schools principals have told me when they took in children with autism in their classrooms, the timetable structure became better. So see how each one helps each other. We are supposed to have charts and bulletin boards and models in our classrooms. When do these come out? Mostly is when there is a PTM. Can the same issue of structure? If I have a diagram on food, I'm just taking one topic just now, on photosynthesis in my classroom, the question is, I can hear you people say, पता नहीं इनको कि शाम तक उसके बिल्कुल पीसेस अलग हो जाएंगे, उनके नहीं होंगे तो आफ्टर स्कूल सेकंड शिफ्ट वाले बच्चे जो हैं उसको तोड़ देंगे. आपको याद होगा घर में भी होता था, यहाँ भी होता था. अभी मेरे रूम में एसी चल रहा है, उसका रिमोट जो है यही कहीं घूम रहा है. एक टाइम था जब क्लास में न्यू सॉफ्ट बोर्ड्स आए थे या एसी आया था या कोई भी ऐसी चीज आई थी तो वो इश्यू आउट करना पड़ता था हमें. उससे भी जो सीनियर टीचर्स हैं वो बताएंगे कि चौक भी इश्यू होती थी. अब chalk is everywhere. We've seen enough of chalk. So nobody is taking away chalk all the time. कभी कभी हम भी एक ले जाते हैं अगर जरूरत होती है. So the remotes don't disappear any longer. Nobody just picks up a remote and says मैं अपने घर के लिए यूज करूंगा या करूंगी, because they have become, they're everywhere. So universal intervention says have those different things, have different types of models in the play field, in the corridors, on the blackboard, on the walls, everywhere. So they become just a natural part of the entire system. So what are we doing? The number of children who learn and anyone can teach them becomes, any teacher can teach them, general teachers and special educators. The final word will be of the special educator. They will say, come and tell, नहीं ये बच्चे में अगर हम इस तरीके से करते तो ये वाला बच्चा जो है वो impact हो जाता है negatively. That will be there, but everyone can teach them, including the non-teaching. Or nobody has to teach them. The walls will teach them. We have to increase that in our classrooms. That is universal intervention. हमारी स्टेट्स में होता है ना 1 2 3 4 करते हैं. Then we have the target group. These particular children, they are assessed, they're screened, they're assessed, and then the diagnosis is given by the special education department. But the general teacher is hand holded by uh, the special educator. And after a while, after all of us have, degrees and diplomas in teaching. So we can learn. So gradually we become more effective in this. The red ones need intensive environment for learning. So what do we see here? What happens कि ये स्पेशल बच्चे जो हैं इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन वाले जो स्पेशल नीड्स वाले हैं वो कभी लर्न ही नहीं कर सकते. वो इसीलिए नहीं लर्न कर पा रहे हैं कि स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स छोटी छोटी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज डेलीगेट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं जनरल टीचर्स को. अगर कर भी रहे हैं तो ऐसे कर रहे हैं कि वो जनरल टीचर के लिए लोड हो जाता है. हमें ऐसे करना है कि उनके लिए वो इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाए. मैं एक पर्टिकुलर सब्जी एक पर्टिकुलर तरीके से बनाती हूँ. हमेशा से बनाई है. मेरी मम्मी ने ऐसे सिखाया, मेरी दादी नानी ने मुझे ऐसे सिखाया. पर जब हम लोग एक साथ बैठ के खाना खाते तो किसी और की भिंडी बेटर लगी, मुझे ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग लगी. तो मैंने पूछा कैसे करते. मैंने घर में उसको एक्सपेरिमेंट किया. जब मैं उसको फिर अगली बार लाके क्लास, जब हम लोग एक साथ बैठ के खाना खा रहे थे तो मैं उसको लेके आई. पर वो उतनी अच्छी नहीं थी जैसी जिस किसी और ने सिखाई थी मुझे के घर में बनती थी. पर उसने ये नहीं कहा यू डोंट नो हाउ टू डू दिस, यू कैंट मेक इट. उन्होंने क्या कहा, हाँ इसको ना थोड़ा सा ऐसे कर देते हैं. वाओ कितना अच्छा बना रहे हो, आप तो बिल्कुल हमारे जैसे ही हो गए हो. Now, in that way, gradually, I will develop the skill because I am being engaged. But सबसे पहली step क्या थी? Sitting together and having food together. जब भी तो differences दिखेंगे ना, जब भी तो different way of cooking भिंडी दिखाई दी ना. So this is what we need to do here. Then even these children in red will become effective learners to the best of their capability in our education system. And this is called the 4 tier जो मैंने यहाँ पर दिखाने की कोशिश करी है. And from here, I understand हमें इतनी सारी teacher different variations करने हैं. If you want to take a screenshot of this, do that quickly. But if I had shown this, again, I've done it in the beginning, different ways of engagement, different ways of representation, action and expressions. शुरू में मैंने दिखाया, I showed you the simpler diagrams. And ultimately, when I'm showing it now, I'm hoping you feel heard. You're interested in reading what I'm here. शायद maybe कुछ इसमें से if I'm doing it. And wish it was more interactive, then many of you would have come up and said that we are already doing this, we're doing this like this, you're doing it like this, right? But if I had shown this in the beginning, you would have gone off to sleep. So we gradually take you in your busy schedule, add more busyness there. So can we do that for the children also in a similar way? So this is how our earlier classes were. I'm also giving a lecture method here, unfortunately. Isn't it? Can we get a system to move to this? Same thing being taught, the objective remain almost the same. One uses computer, the other uses reading, the third uses an audio, and here this child is experimenting and this child is actually drawing the different what happens when photosynthesis happens. And in junior classes we are able to do this more मुझे बीच में थोड़ा सा सोने का मन करना है तो वो भी अलाउ कर देते हैं। आई नो भी नहीं कर पाएंगे हम अपनी क्लासेस में, बट कैन यू विजुअलाइज अ क्लास लाइक दिस? शैल वी ट्राई एंड मूव टुवर्ड्स दैट? फिर उसके बाद हियरिंग इम्पेयर्ड भी नहीं बचेगा, ऑटिज्म भी नहीं बचेगा। आई यू कैन सी माई वाइट है, आई एम एजिंग, आई एम 65 plus, and my hearing is going a little bit. So I've told my entire faculty कि सबको पता है रेनू मैम को ना थोड़ा सा ऊंचा सुनाई देता है। जब वो रेनू मैम के पास आते हैं वो रेनू मैम के पास बैठते हैं, रेनू मैम के पास आते हैं तो वो थोड़ा जोर से बोलते हैं। It's become universal. So ultimately, the medical doctor said, "Ma'am, why aren't you putting the hearing aids?" And my colleague said, "हम जोर से बोल लेते हैं, कोई जरूरत नहीं है अभी, और थोड़े दिनों के बाद लगाना." So it's, I know I have to put my hearing aids. That's perfectly all right. But see how everyone is supporting me. Are they taking extra time out of their schedule to do that to me? No, it's become universal. So, classroom may, if I need to bring about change for this particular student, it's not easy. We know it very well. We need the teacher, me, the teacher, other teachers, the parents, everyone, and classroom arrangement, infrastructure, the teaching learning style, the peer group, everyone has to be sensitized, empathized, and the entire school system has to change. And beyond that, the world and community has to change. Earlier, it was if you have a handicap, if you have a disability, you're not part of the larger world. But now the world is changing. People with blindness are flying planes. They're not crashing them, by the way. So, what are we doing is one way of managing or teaching in the classroom is not always the most best way. This child, neurodiversity, is also categorizing learning information, but उसकी जो categories बना रहा है ना, वो और तरीके की है। हमारा फाइलिंग सिस्टम ये है, उसका फाइलिंग सिस्टम ये है। So, does this child not have the right to study in my classrooms? Just because I file things like this, my brain files things like this, and their brain files things like this. Let me quickly give an example here. This is, by the way, word in my hand. All of us have to start learning sign language. We already use so much of sign language, but it's not structured sign language. So let's start and learning 2, 3 ways of using my hands in sign language. As I would do if I go to France, I will try and learn 2, 3 French words every day. These are some of my YouTubes. But before I go there, let me show you. See, I was talking about photosynthesis. Here, this is condensation, how precipitation happens, how rain comes, and then evaporation happens. This particular child wanted to express this through art. This is my sad home. We also had a picture of this is a sad home, how to convert it into a happy home. Now, see here, when we're talking about shadows or precipitation or anything else, again expressed through the art form here. I'll move from this, and this is how a cycle, butterfly, or anything can be done by the art teacher. But me, the science teacher, needs to collaborate with the art teachers. We work as a team. Again, here, look at the happiness here. Now, this happiness, you're saying, oh, this can be done in the junior classes. Why not in the senior classes? If we are talking about different type of cell walls or different type of cells, a plant cell and a animal cell, I'm sure even class 8th would love this. Maybe we can have activities even at class 12th level for this. And from here, if we have to start doing the planning for something I teach in November from June itself, I have to associate different faculty. I know timetables, I know we work hard, but if we have one little 0.5% variations, I tried to do that here. What I did was about showing the larger picture about this was with different types of vitamins. So in my class, if I had children with dyslexia, children with blindness, children with hearing impairment, and children with autism. Besides the other children who were not categorized as having special needs, but every child has special needs. So, this is what I did. See the color here. I explained to them. See, this is children A, B, C, D, the larger picture I showed them. I also have this. This is orange. I did not say anything about that orange has similar type of category. Reds have certain type of nutrition or anything. But I showed them. देखो ये colors कैसे मैंने different किए हैं. और while I was doing that, they said, "Ma'am, D, E, ma'am E के बाद तो K नहीं आता है." I said, "Yes, यही हम बात आगे करेंगे." Now I've got the जिज्ञासा in them, and then they'll be put in here. कौन से words नहीं है? तो यहाँ पर GFGH नहीं है मैम, उन्हीं से पूछा. ओके, हम इनको काट देते, इसके बारे में बाद में करेंगे बात. एंड लेट्स गो. एक एक को हम लेके गए. तुम्हें पता है स्टोरीज, पहले अगर ऐसे बच्चों के पैर होते थे ना तो उनको मेडिसिन नहीं देते थे. ये किसकी वजह से होता है? रिकेट्स की वजह से होता है. जब हम तो उससे क्या करते थे, ऐसा कर देते थे उनके पैर करने के लिए. सिट्रस फ्रूट्स नहीं होते थे. एक और कहानी बताऊं तुम्हें, तो सेलर्स वाली कहानी बताई कि जब जो सेलर्स फॉर मंथ्स एंड मंथ्स पहले जब ट्रैवल करते थे तो कोई हेलीकॉप्टर तो होते नहीं थे जाके उनको फ्रेश फूड से देते, तो उनको स्कर्वी हो जाती थी. एक और कहानी. नाउ दैट कहानी रिमेन्स forever and they will be able to connect. So अगर चीटिंग भी करेंगे एग्जाम में, विटामिन सी से कौन सी डेफिशिएंसी होती है, then the child will say सेलर वाली कहानी. I know that's cheating, but they will be able to connect that. We used music, and remember, in vitamin B there are certain vitamin numbers which is not there. So we don't have a vitamin B4. We don't have a vitamin B8 and so on. So B1, B2, B3, no. B5, B6, B7, no. B9, no. B12. Again, fat soluble. So again we did this, mnemonics. So fate, जो fat soluble होते हैं वो A, D, E, K होते हैं. So मैंने उसका ये बनाया था कीड़ा. माय स्टूडेंट सेड नहीं मैम फेक बनाई है, उसमें एफ भी आ जाएगा, फैट सॉल्युबल. एंड वीडियोस वी हैड. ये सब वाटर सॉल्युबल है तो पानी में जा रहे हैं. दे कैन नॉट बी स्टोर्ड. ये जो है फैट सॉल्युबल है, फेक वाले है. फिर निमोनिक्स उसको भी. एंड देन व्हेन आई सी दिस, इसको ये अच्छा लग रहा है या ये अच्छा लग रहा है, किस में से ब्रेन ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से इंफॉर्मेशन स्टोर करेगा, इससे या इससे. ये बच्चों ने एक्टिविटी की और उसमें उन्होंने ब्रेल भी बना के लगाया. अब the child who is blind in the classroom who uses a different type of book which is braille, अब उनको समझ में आया, उनके साथ relationship class में better develop हुई. Then role play. मैं विटामिन बी हूँ, मैं विटामिन डी हूँ, फिर मैंने कहानियां, एंड उसके बाद ये आया बड़ा समराइजेशन. अब बच्चे आर हैप्पी टू डू दिस, एंड वी हैड डेवलप्ड अ प्रोजेक्ट जिसमें हमने देखा था कितने डिफरेंट स्टाइल से स्टैंडिंग लाइन, स्लीपिंग लाइन, एबीसीडी भी सिखाना पड़ता है. उसी की ये कोई थोड़े बहुत समान है यहाँ पर. So with that, I would like to stop sharing my CD, and if there are any questions, most welcome. Please ask me. I hope we will attempt to go towards inclusive classrooms. यहाँ तो मैंने कुछ बात ही नहीं की डिफरेंट डिसेबिलिटीज के बारे में, मैं तो खाली क्लासरूम को ज्यादा इफेक्टिव बनाने के बारे में बोल रही थी. I hope you did not find it too boring. Is there anyone who would like to ask? Are there any questions in the chat box?
Excuse me, ma'am. Dr. Renu?
Yes. I'm right here.
Hello. Dr. Renu, I
Hello.
think a slide is not coming.
Because I've stopped the slide now. Should I bring it back?
Yes. It's over? Not over, no?
No. What time do you want me to finish? I have some more, but I thought I had to finish at 12 o'clock.
Okay. You just please.
No, I can show some. I have some videos which I can show. Tell me, what is the time to wind up?
How much time will take it, ma'am? You can show that.
Sure. I can show that.
Yeah.
So it said 11 to 12. No? Let me show that. Let me come back again. 1 second.
Meanwhile, I think if all are requested, if you have any questions, they can type the questions on the chat box. Just very interesting, wonderful session, ma'am. Somebody. Yeah.
Is there any questions being asked?
Yeah. How can offering multiple expression options best confidence in students? Somebody asked.
Multiple expressions. Okay.
Yes.
So let me again try. So here, when you're trying to the slide, do you want me to go back to sharing the slide? I'm just doing that, but I'll explain that in the meantime. When you're talking about different multiple ways of expressing in the classroom, it means the same information has to be given in as many different ways as possible. So how do we do that? Let's connect this with the multiple intelligence theory. When we talk about the multiple intelligence theory, it says some people are good with writing. So we use the blackboard, we give photostats maybe, we ask children to write a story from what we have taught. We also, like I'd shown the slide of a girl who's drawn the rainy season. Now, that is the art. It was not a diagram for class 1, 2, 3. It's when we learn about condensation and evaporation and precipitation, which is probably in which case, I think 7th or 8th. Now, this child has drawn that and is showing condensation is this. This is precipitation. When the water is going up, the vapors she's showing, and that is evaporation. Then we ask somebody 3-4 teamwork. Okay. Now, can you make a video? Now that video, remember somewhere I said what you need to want to teach in November you will start working on it in June. So you have this 5, 6 students who love doing videography and photography. So we tell them your job is, and you have to give that job almost 8 months before, कि ये मुझे फोटोज चाहिए होंगी, वीडियोज चाहिए होंगी. रेनी सीजन में क्या क्या हो रहा है. Then winters will come. Again you will call the team and say, remember तुम वो वाला प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हो जो नवंबर में कंप्लीट होने वाला है, हाँ, उसमें विंटर्स में क्या हो रहा है, फोटो खींचो. बहुत जायज़ की विंड हो रही है, लोग कैसे ठंड में हैं. Okay, ऐसे they will make a video. Now that work you've started from June, but your class on different different type of seasons will be in November. So you're using that. Then developing puppets. You don't have to do everything. You might have an arts teacher. You might have somebody else who comes in and teaches, talks about puppets, or gives them who is interested in that. So this is how you use different ways of expressing. Okay, so may I try again?
Yeah, ma'am, I think we can
need to wind up now.
this. Okay. Next, all our request. Next step will be the join webinar 6 next month, 19th of September, Friday at 11 a.m. on the topic of supporting siblings of specially abled children, their role and challenges. Before we conclude, we kindly invite you to like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated on future sessions and inspiring educational content. On behalf of the United Schools Organization of India, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all participants for joining webinar 5 of our series Beyond Boundaries, Understanding Special Needs on the theme of the power of inclusive education benefits for all. A special thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Renu, for sharing such valuable insights and inspiring us to view inclusive education as a powerful tool for building empathy, equity, and excellence in our classrooms. Your expertise has truly enriched our understanding. We also thank the teachers, students, and parents who took the time to be part of today's session. Your presence and engagement encourage us to continue creating platforms where meaningful conversations on education and inclusivity can flourish. Together, let us carry forward the message of inclusivity and ensure that learning becomes a right and a joy for every child. Thank you once again, Dr. Renu and everybody, and we look forward to your presence in our upcoming webinars. Thank you.
Thank you so much.